Are you in a season where you just feel like you continue to wait over and over again? Do you feel like the season is been delivered to you to destroy you, to basically wipe you out, whether it be financially, personally, relationship wise? Is this storm sitting on your doorstep and you don't know what to do? This week, guys, I'm going to give you answers to all three of those just from the simple fact of me being me and just sharing my life story with you guys. So let's get right into it. So you're in a storm. I'm in one too. The storm wasn't sent to destroy you, or the storm wasn't sent to last your whole life. The storm was meant to figure out who you are and where you're at. One of my favorite chapters in the Bible is Deuteronomy 8. I read the whole thing and I'm just going off of my mind, my memory. And here's where I'm at. I don't know what verse it is because I've not memorized it, but I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. Basically, God is telling the Israelites that I took you out of Egypt from slavery, from being horribly treated. And yes, you were wandering around in the desert for 40 years. And the reason why is because you did not believe that God could get you to the promised land. And during that time, what happened? You basically were broken. The Israelites were broken, and they had to worry about getting water. They had to worry about getting food, clothes, shoes, and so forth. But what the verse says is that God put them in that position because he wanted them to draw closer to him, to know that everything in their life is because of him. And once they actually started to believe and respect what God could actually do, what did God do? He fed them every single day, made sure that they had water. Yes, it's manna, bread, whatever you want to call it. But they didn't actually have to go get the food. And as Deuteronomy 8 goes on, it then continues to talk about the reason why God brings them into this space is, one, to bring them closer, two, to change them from the inside out, their heart, where they're not worshiping other idols or other gods, like what we do in current day. Let's talk about that. I've lived that life to where I was riding fast and trying to buy every toy out there, new car, spending money that I didn't have, even though I was making a substantial amount of money. And I was consistently broke because it was all about me. And the journey that I'm on now and the storm that I'm going through, I've gone through different iterations of it. And the very first iteration was basically breaking me down and really knocking me down to my knees. And the only way to get back up is to have faith in God that he will provide. This has been a long storm, and I'm praying and really having faith that we're coming to the end of this storm, to where I can really focus in on me and my service to others, because that's the second piece. I always thought it's always about me. It's not about me. It's about furthering the kingdom and helping others. Whatever I have, I need to be sharing with others. But the thing that I have the least of, I should be sharing the most. So the thing I have the least amount of now is money. I should be consistently giving and tithing at least 10%. I've been doing that. And things are starting to move. And I'm not saying that you tithe and everything changes. doesn't work that way. I always thought that, and that's a struggle that I've had for a very long time. You got to have faith. You got to believe. You really have to have a heart of service. And especially when you're introduced to people that have a totally different perspective of life in the world that we live in, patience is huge because I still struggle with this, but it's less frequent, is to where if someone has a dramatically different opinion of what we're discussing, opinion on whatever's going on, I ask more questions. I dig in and try to figure out why. And there's times where they're very convicted and they can give me a why. And then there's times that they can't and they really haven't thought their position through. Is that sad that they can't stand on their position with some backing? Yeah. But guess what? I can't let it bother me. We can have a discussion, try to be open, try to have that dialogue to see where everything goes. But ultimately, it's water off of my back before it really would anger me. Is it sad that people have an opinion or a position and don't know why and can't explain it? Yeah, it's frustrating. But back to the storm is not a destroyer. It, like I said before, it is brought to our lives to, one, bring us closer to God and faith, and two, to change us from the inside out. And the third thing that I mentioned before is you see that storm is on your doorstep. Can you avoid it? Can you minimize it? Potentially. But that's a lot of change, a lot of faith, a lot of praying. Sometimes those storms are meant to keep us away from something that we really thought we should have, and God's telling us to go another direction. He's closing that door and opening another. The waiting period sucks. Because I can tell you this, I struggle with patience, and waiting in the storm while everything is going crazy around you is probably the most difficult thing I've been dealing with. The more I read Deuteronomy 8, get into the Bible every single day, I find more peace, more comfort. There is not a single thing in the Bible, God doesn't say it, Jesus doesn't say it. We're all going to have rough times in our lives. It's what you do in those storms that changes you and prepares you for another storm, because life isn't always going to be on the sliding to the right, upward right. Sometimes we go down. And we have things that happen in our families, our friends. We have deaths that happen around us. Those are all storms. It doesn't have to be financial like what I'm talking about, but they are storms that we have to deal with. And the one thing I can tell you guys to take away is this. While you're in a storm, finding peace is game-changing. It allows me to focus. It allows me to stay on point. It allows me to get to where I need to go, to push through the storm, learn from it, better myself, and help others that are going through the same storm. Because ultimately, that's what I want to truly do, is help others that are going through a similar storm that I am, so they can feel a little bit less of the storm, but also have the cliff notes, should I say, to be able to get through the storm without so many ups and downs. Painful what comes to my mind, but the best way I know to describe it is gut punching, knocking me down to my knees, shedding tears. That's where that really comes from inside of me, is that There's nothing else I can say on that. That's just how I feel. Guys, as we wrap this up, if you're going through a storm, you're not alone. I'm looking to build a community. Please, if you don't have anybody to talk to, reach out to me, message me, leave a comment, subscribe and share. I'll reach back out to you. But know the storm wasn't sent to destroy you. The storm was meant to change you for the better. And it's going to be a journey to figure out what the storm is looking to change you. You got to get closer to God in your faith. And you have to figure that out. It's a journey that when I first started, I didn't think I would make it through. And now I'm going to make it through and then some, and be able to share my experiences with others and help them through their storm. All right, guys. Hope you guys have a great week. Have a great long weekend. I'll see you guys on the other side.